Hi, I'm Mattock Scariot, and I'm the director of the Jasper International Film Festival, and I'm here with Samantha Lester and Tammy Minoff. And they're the writers and directors of Spell It Out Neon, which won Best Comedy at Jasper this year in 2022. So welcome, both of you. I'm so excited to meet you, see you in person, not in person, but
basically kind of
human beings, not on email. So
yeah,
exactly. To meet you both. Thank you so much for being here. Can you talk about a little bit about who each of you, how you got into filmmaking and how you met?
Sure. Great.
You go first.
Okay, how I got into filmmaking or acting?
Yeah.
All of it.
So that's my mom's fault. My mom, loves theater. She did theater her entire life. And I'm from South Texas. So she was part of every community theater that there was down there. And she would take me she would take my little walker and just let me walk around the theater while she was rehearsing.
I didn't know that. That's cute.
Yeah, it's really cute. So I was just kind of born into it. Then I moved to Los Angeles when I was 17 years old to pursue film and TV because I always thought it'd be cool to make the books that I love to read come to life. Oh. And I knew that I wanted to do that in film because I wanted to actually feel what it was like to be in the world of the book. And that's when I met Tammy for the first time. And she was the cool kid at the acting studio.
It's always horrifying to hear, but when someone says something like that, it's always oh God, what was I actually
doing? No, you were really cool.
I just, I wore my boots and my leather jackets. I thought I was real, I don't
You're
know.
hot shit. You still are.
Just barely, a little more tired now, but since becoming a mom. But yeah, we met. Sam was originally in my class, so I'll backtrack a little bit. I was an actress for many years. I actually grew up doing musicals. I started my career on Broadway performing as a kid, which is that I had some of the best teachers doing all of those shows and great artists, actors, writers, directors, everybody. And then I did my first film when I was 13. I played a young Marissa Tomei in Only You. If you want to watch it, it's pretty fun. Sweet movie. Norman Jewison directed it. So he was my first film director. I fell in love with making movies. And I always loved going to the movies. And that was a little bit my parents too. They used to take me, I grew up in New York, to the Village to see classic movies. And so that was really a part of my life, along with theater. And then I moved to LA. I acted for a really long time. I did a lot of independent movies, commercials, continued to do a little bit of theater. And then eventually I wrote my first play, which was adapted and developed into a feature, which we made. And with my producing partner, Brad Zions, that's called Limerence. It's on Amazon Prime now and most other platforms. And that came out in early 2020, right before we shot Spell It Out in Neon.
Wow.
And so it was a lot of things back to back, and those were my first two directing projects. And Sam was in my acting class and brought this material in, and I was like, this is great. I always encourage students, anybody who's in this business, make your own stuff. Why are you waiting for someone to give you permission? And even if it's really bad, write a really bad draft of something and get great people around you to make it good. Yeah. Luckily, Sam's a really talented writer, so her first draft was not really bad. It was really good. And we worked with our actors to kind of turn it into something. And then she said, she wanted to go make it. She asked me to direct it. I said, I'm about to have a baby, so I can't do that. I don't think.
But we made it happen.
Eventually, because independent film takes longer than you think. By the time she was into production with our producer,
partner David Fickus.
Yeah, they came back to me and said, okay, this is our production schedule. Can you direct now? And I said, sure. I had a 8-month-old at the time.
Something like that, yeah.
He came and visited.
He was on set. It was so cute.
Yep. I was pumping and on set. I think I horrified some crew people who were like, what's going on?
Well, it was cool because our cinematographer Chloe Weaver was
She was
also
pregnant at the
she
time.
5 months pregnant?
No, not
No.
even.
Oh,
No,
not even.
She
Okay.
was like maybe, I don't remember, maybe 4 months pregnant. I don't know. I'd have to ask her, but she was pregnant with the rig on. You know, it was a real like women in film.
Oh yeah, it was
I'm
really
pumping.
cool.
She's pregnant. We're making this movie. Like it's a blast. It was a blast to do, and we really, you know, it was important to us to have a lot of women in above the line positions. Our camera crew is all women. Like it's just, you know, I hope people give us more opportunities, and I feel like you have to live what you're preaching.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Well, and that seems to be like, you know, having so many women on the set made it more comfortable to bring your kid to the set and to, you know, do the pumping and all that stuff. So it does. I think that's what we're all kind of striving for, is that normalcy of like being, not just being women on a set, but actually being able to be a woman on the set and not have to pretend you're something else or keep all of your stuff at home. You can bring it to the set and it's comfortable and it's safe. So that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, we did that. And I think like motherhood in general, like I talked about this before, but it made me a better director and filmmaker. You know, in order to be a mom, you have to multitask, and it's the same. It's a very similar set of skills, and you have to learn how to like calm people down and like deal with stuff, you know, and they kind of feed each other. So I think it's really, you know, it's an asset to have women on sets. It's just, I don't know, women are amazing. That's
well, when I had kids, I learned that everything I was learning in my what to expect when you're expecting is sort of how if I start treating people like that, I got a better reaction from them. Like we're all kind of toddlers, you know, and when you take that maternal instinct and apply it to everybody else, sometimes it really works.
No, it's really true. I mean, you know, I think it's definitely a great and more comfortable like culture to have on set, where you care about people's feelings, but you also have boundaries and expectations, just like you do with small children. Why not have a nurturing environment? Why have a toxic environment? Like you know, and that's not directed at either gender. Anybody can have a toxic environment. You know, it's not why we do this. You know, we do this because we love it, right? And it's like, let's make something great, and let's also like have a good time. I don't know, maybe while we do it.
Yeah.
So Samantha, where did the idea for this film come from?
My real life. It's based off a personal experience, and then the art part came into the situation because at the time, and still a little bit now, but not as much, I worked as a street artist under the name of Truth. So on top of going to class and working through all that stuff, I was going out at night and painting my poetry around Los Angeles and also putting it up with stickers. So I had written a poem that was also about this same experience, and we used it in like our pitch video to raise the money. So the movie was kind of an expansion of the poem, and for most of production, I wanted to keep them both separate because I felt like they were two completely different things. Like this was the poetry and the painting and the street art, and this was the film. But then David Fickus, our producer, and Tammy both kind of were talking to me, and they were like, but this is so cool. This is also what Beth would be doing. You really should weave this in. You really should weave her poetry in. So we just kind of said, you know what? It is very much like
another character.
It's another character. And it's also how she and myself, how we both, you know, learned how to take control of our own life and put ourselves first, basically.
Yeah, and I think it certainly sparked like the conversation about what this movie was going to look like visually and all of that. You know, it came from the character, but it's to me, it really opened up the film from what it started as on the page, and I was really excited by that idea.
Yeah, and what was your approach as a director? You know, was there another film that inspired you, or you know, what what was your approach? How did you approach the film? And
Yeah, we had a lot of inspiration. We talked about the movie Booksmart, which we really like the way that's shot. We like the tone of it. I think that's Olivia, right?
Olivia Wilde,
who
yeah.
directed it, who did a fabulous job. That was, I think, her directorial debut. So that was definitely a reference. And then with some of it, definitely some like John Hughes we kind of have a John Hughes moment in the movie. Like we wanted to do our modern version of
like a John Hughes film.
Of like,
yes.
Those sort of 80s, 90s, early rom-coms and like teenage angst. And then, we had to weave the social media and really actually more texting. Social media is from an earlier draft of the script. What am I talking about?
The texting, and she was inspired for the visual look of the texting by, the painting, the spray painting.
That's how we started to talk about it. And our fabulous editor did all the graphics, and that's all his art and animation. Wow. So, which I didn't even realize. I kept being like, okay, let's add this. And I was like, I think
he got really frustrated
frustrated with me. And I was like, just stick them in. And then one day, David was like, do you realize he's hand drawing all those things? And I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. That's a lot of work. But it really, I think.
He wasn't doing it on Canva.
No. He was hand doing all of it. But doesn't it look amazing?
It looks amazing. No,
I'm indebted to him because it's definitely a big part of the visual, language of the film. And
it adds this charm to it, and it lifts up. Yeah, it was so beautifully done, and I always like that, adding graphics into something like that. And you did such a great job because that's not an easy thing. Timing has to be right and has to look right.
Yeah, all of our production team and post and music, they were just fantastic. Bryce, our editor, one of our editors, who did all that, the graphics. He's also a musician, musical. Everybody's musical on this, so you can kind of feel that. Yeah. Which is like, those are my favorite people to work with, because like that's how I'll sort of talk in the editing room. Like we can be like, no, it's like this, bum bum, and you're like, okay, great. Because there's definitely I love music and movies. I think it's so important, and we really, really were picky about the music.
That was a big lesson for us in this particular movie, because I didn't realize that when I wrote this, it was a party. Yeah. And in a party, there's constant music. So you became a whole other character in this film.
How we were going to use it and all that. So
exactly. Yeah. We got really lucky with our artists as well.
Yeah, some friends.
Oh yeah, people. One of my best friends, Maxine Davis, her song "You Should Have Told Me" was like at the very end while I was painting. And the first time I saw a cut of the film where they put her song over the credits while I was painting, I started bawling. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. It works perfectly.
Oh, how sweet. So obviously you're the lead in the film, Samantha, but how did you cast the rest of the film?
So
we cast Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel, I knew for many years. He actually did a play with my husband before my husband hung up his acting shoes, and they did a play together several years ago. And I've known him since then and love him, and thought he would just be. First of all, he's a fantastic actor, and just thought like he would have the right amount of like charm and swagger, but not, it's a really tough role, because if the guy is just like unlikable, you're like, why am I watching this movie? Why do I care? Like, why do I just want her to like, walk away from the beginning. But so he has to have enough that you care about him and are into it, but also that he kind of does this thing that's not so great. So it was a hard balance. And then Sarah, who plays Tristan, blanked on her name too. Okay. There's my brain.
She was your
she was my babysitter originally, and we were seeing audition tapes. Casting director friend was helping and sending all these tapes in. And I said to her one day, she's an actress, I don't really know if you're right for this, and it's not totally up to me, which it wasn't, you know, because this is really Sam's baby that she entrusted me with. But do you want to put yourself on tape? And again, I'd never seen her act. I was like, and she was just adorable and great. And again, brought this sort of innocence to it with her. She's funny. And it's, you know, again, it's a character that could be really two-dimensional.
Well,
she wasn't.
We saw a lot of different people put themselves on tape who fit the character the way it was written on the page, because she was written as like an influencer, kind of very LA type of girl, and every person we saw just didn't feel right. But then we got Sarah's tape and it was like, oh
yeah, there's just a tendency with a character like that. It could just be sort of bitchy. And again, you just, even if someone's doing something terrible and horrible, you kind of want to like sort of like a part of them too.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just kind of not
bored.
Yeah. So she had the right mix of things, and so it was really fun. I was like, great.
Well, it was nice because a lot of people already knew each other on set.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because you and Chloe had worked together before on Limerence.
Right. She was our cinematographer.
And Davielle, our oh my God,
production design
and costume design.
She did both, right?
She did both, worked on Tammy's feature as well.
She was our production designer. So I brought back in people who I loved working with already, and it was great. It's like always great to do that. Because you have kind of a shorthand, you know, where we're like, let's do this. And everyone trusts each other. So.
And then I knew a lot of the Drama 3-4 crew because I'd been a PA on a bunch of their sets that year. So that was really nice. So it just kind of felt like a big family coming together at the end of the day to make a movie. Oh, and all the extras were my friends. So that was nice too.
Yeah, when you need background and you're doing a small independent film, you just call your friends and beg them. You're like, we're going to feed you. It's kind of like a party where you're forced to stay, and it's a little bit boring.
And wear several Halloween costumes.
We're going to keep putting you in different Halloween costumes. Do you want to come hang out?
Actually, another filmmaker friend of mine was so nice, and he came and was a giant pumpkin.
Yeah,
I was in one of his movies, and he was like, you know what? I will come and do this for you.
Oh, cute.
Thank you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Norman.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's great.
So what's next for you?
Well, I'm writing a feature film, and then I'm going to start writing a feature based off of the short.
Oh, great.
I'm writing, I wrote, and working on a television show, a comedy with my other producing partner that we're getting ready to go out with. And then I wrote another feature that I'm getting ready to direct. And then that's completely different. And then I started writing something semi-autobiographical that's more in like early stages. So excited to get back on set. It's been a weird few years, you know, even making this, like we weren't totally finished with all of our filming, and then the pandemic hit. So we had to do, we had to like change some stuff around. Yeah.
We did have to change some stuff around. Editing was interesting. And then that last shot where we went to paint was actually just me, Chloe, and Tammy went to downtown Los Angeles with some paint.
We were like, hey, we got to do this totally differently than we thought.
That was March 2021.
We had a bunch more B-roll we were planning on shooting that we didn't do. So you just roll with it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you're lucky you got as much as you did in the can before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
all
had
the party stuff.
We had the movie shot. I was like, okay, we need some credit stuff. We need some B-roll transition. And then I was like, nope, we're going to do this different. Like,
COVID really helped us with the animation and the texting.
Yeah, and like the driving, like when they drive to the party, some of that was like stolen or donated from another. Yeah, I mean, we like used it because we were like, shoot,
we need transition. And then we threw the texting on top with the different animations, and it
solved our problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta think on your feet. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you both, and I'm looking forward to seeing your next projects, and hopefully you remember us.
Of course.
For sure.
Yes, definitely.
We'll be there in person next time. That's the plan.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, good. It's good. It's wonderful to meet you both, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You look perfect.
Why, thank you. Beth. She's like this amazing artist.
So you're together, or?
No, not at all.
We just have a thing.
Stop calling me Nugget and stop bringing me to parties where I don't know anybody besides you.
Yeah, but maybe that's the problem. You don't know anyone besides me.
Beth, you have to meet people.
Why does it matter what I think? What am I to you?